Hi. Welcome back to Top 10 Begins. If you think you've seen everything sci-fi has to offer, think again. Because today, we're diving into a world where time loops have no beginning, where reality can split into infinite versions, and where technology doesn't just change lives, it controls them. From hidden gems you probably missed, to legendary series that redefined the genre forever. This is the ultimate countdown of the best mind-bending sci-fi series. These aren't just shows you watch. They're experiences that will challenge your thoughts, twist your perception of reality, and stay with you long after the screen goes black. So get ready, because some of these will completely blow your mind. Starting from number 25, here's the countdown for the best mind-bending sci-fi series. Sweet 25, Sweet Tooth. In a world brought to its knees by a deadly virus, a new kind of life begins to emerge. Hybrid children, born part human, part animal. Feared and hunted by survivors, these children become symbols of both hope and danger. At the center of it all is Gus, a young deer boy, who sets out on a journey across a broken world to uncover the truth about his origins. But as he travels through dangerous lands filled with desperate humans, one question remains. Are humans still worth trusting in a world they destroyed themselves? Manifest. Montego Air Flight 828 takes off like any ordinary flight, but when it lands, everything has changed. 5 years have passed in the real world, but for the passengers, it felt like just a few hours. As they try to return to their normal lives, strange visions and mysterious callings begin to guide them toward unknown purposes. What starts as a miracle slowly turns into a puzzle that challenges logic, time, and destiny itself, because something brought them back. And it's not done with them yet. Halo, set in the 26th century, Halo throws you into a massive war between humanity and a powerful alien alliance known as the Covenant. At the center is Master Chief, a genetically enhanced super soldier trained to be the perfect weapon. But as the battle intensifies, cracks begin to form, not just in the war but within him. Because this isn't just about survival anymore. It's about identity, free will, and whether a weapon can ever truly become human. Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. After the world witnesses the terrifying rise of giant creatures, a secretive organization known as Monarch begins to surface. Spanning decades, the story connects past discoveries with present dangers, revealing a hidden war between humanity and forces far beyond its control. As secrets unfold, it becomes clear that these monsters aren't just random threats. They're part of something much bigger, a legacy that has been quietly shaping the world all along. Invasion. When aliens arrive on Earth, the world doesn't respond with heroes or grand battles. Instead, we see the chaos through the eyes of ordinary people, families, soldiers, scientists, each trying to survive a reality they don't understand. As communication breaks down and fear spreads, the invasion feels less like a war and more like a slow, terrifying takeover. Because sometimes the scariest part isn't the enemy you can see, it's the one you can't understand. Constellation. After a disaster strikes aboard a space station, astronaut Jo returns to Earth, but something isn't right. Her memories don't fully match reality, and the world around her feels subtly different. As she digs deeper, she begins to question everything, her past, her identity, even her own sanity. What unfolds is a haunting journey into parallel realities, fractured timelines, and a truth that blurs the line between science and something far more unsettling. Because sometimes, coming back home isn't the same as returning to the same world. Dark matter. What if your life wasn't just one path, but an infinite number of realities, all existing at the same time? Dark matter takes a simple idea, choice, and turns it into something terrifying. Because every decision you make creates another version of you, living another life. But when one version is taken from his reality and thrown into another, everything begins to collapse. Now he must fight to return to the life he remembers, while facing the haunting truth that somewhere out there, a better version of him might already exist. Ahsoka. In a galaxy filled with ancient powers and forgotten histories, Ahsoka steps into a new kind of war, one that goes beyond lightsabers and battles. As long-lost enemies return and new threats begin to rise, the balance of the galaxy is pushed to its limits. But this isn't just a fight between good and evil anymore. It's about legacy, destiny, and the shadows that never truly disappear. 17. Star Trek Discovery. Venturing beyond known space, Discovery explores worlds no one has ever seen before. strange civilizations, advanced technologies, and mysteries that challenge everything humanity believes in. But beyond the spectacle lies something deeper: questions about morality, sacrifice, and the true cost of exploration. Because in a universe this vast, every discovery comes with consequences. 16. The Mandalorian, a lone warrior, bound by a strict code, travels through a lawless galaxy where survival is never guaranteed. At first it's just another mission, another bounty, but everything changes when he chooses to protect instead of destroy. What follows is a journey filled with danger, emotion, and unexpected connections, proving that even in the coldest parts of space, humanity can still exist. 15. Fallout. After nuclear war wipes out civilization, the world above turns into a chaotic wasteland where survival is brutal and unpredictable. Hidden underground, humans live in controlled environments, safe, but disconnected from reality. But once the doors open, everything changes, because the surface world isn't just dangerous, it's unpredictable, absurd, and filled with secrets waiting to be uncovered. In Fallout, every step forward could lead to discovery or destruction. Silo. Deep beneath the surface, thousands of people live inside a massive underground silo, believing the outside world is toxic and uninhabitable. Rules are strict, questions are dangerous, and curiosity can be deadly. But when small inconsistencies begin to appear, doubt slowly spreads. Because sometimes, the truth isn't what's outside the walls, it's what's being hidden inside them. 13. Bodies. One body is discovered, in 4 different timelines. 4 detectives, separated by decades, begin investigating the same murder, each uncovering clues that shouldn't exist. As their stories begin to connect, the mystery evolves into something far more complex than a crime. It becomes a puzzle of time, fate, and events that refuse to stay in one place. Because this isn't just about who committed the crime, it's about how it exists across time itself. 12. Foundation. A brilliant mathematician predicts the fall of a massive galactic empire, an event that could plunge humanity into thousands of years of darkness. To prevent total collapse, he creates a plan, one that spans generations, planets, and countless lives. Foundation isn't just about the future, it's about controlling it. Because when you can predict destiny, the real question becomes, can you change it? 11. For all mankind. What if history took a different turn? What if the space race never ended, but instead became the center of human ambition? In this alternate reality, every achievement pushes humanity further into space, faster than ever before. But with progress comes pressure, competition, and sacrifice. Because in this version of history, space isn't just exploration, it's a battle for dominance, innovation, and survival beyond Earth. 10. Westworld. In a futuristic theme park, where lifelike robots exist to serve human desires, guests can live out any fantasy they want, without consequences. But what happens when those creations begin to remember? When they start to question their reality, and realize they're not as free as they were designed to believe? Westworld isn't just about artificial intelligence, it's about consciousness, control, and the thin line between creator and creation. Because when something becomes truly self-aware, it stops being a machine, and starts becoming something far more dangerous. 9. 3-body problem. What if humanity's greatest scientific discovery was also its greatest threat? 3-body problem begins with a simple question, but quickly spirals into something far beyond human understanding. As scientists around the world begin to die under mysterious circumstances, a hidden truth starts to emerge. One that connects physics, reality, and an incoming force that humanity is completely unprepared for. This isn't just about aliens. It's about the limits of human knowledge, and what happens when those limits are shattered. Because when the laws of science begin to break, so does everything we believe to be real. Blue-Eye Samurai. In the rigid and unforgiving world of Edo period Japan, identity is everything. And for one warrior, identity is a purse. Born with striking blue eyes in a land that rejects anything different, she grows up as an outsider, hated, judged, and forced to hide who she truly is. But pain has a way of forging something stronger. Trained in the art of the sword, she becomes a master of combat, silent, precise, and deadly, not driven by honor, but by revenge. Her journey is not one of glory, but of vengeance, a mission to hunt down the men responsible for her existence, and make them pay. As she travels through a brutal and beautifully crafted world filled with betrayal, violence, and shifting loyalties, she hides behind a disguise, concealing not just her identity, but her past. But the deeper she goes, the more the line between revenge and purpose begins to blur. Because every enemy she defeats brings her closer to the truth, and further away from the person she once was. Blue Eye Samurai isn't just a story about revenge. It's about identity, isolation, and the cost of becoming something the world fears. Because sometimes, the greatest battle is not against others, but against who you are. The Last of Us. In a world where civilization has collapsed under a deadly fungal infection, survival becomes the only rule. Cities are abandoned. Nature has taken over, and humanity is hanging by a thread. At the center of this broken world is a journey between a man who has lost everything and a girl who might be the key to saving it. But this isn't just a story about monsters or infection. It's about loss, hope, and the emotional weight of survival. Because sometimes, the most dangerous thing in this world isn't the infected, it's what people are willing to do to survive. Black Mirror. This isn't the future. This is already happening. Black Mirror doesn't tell one story, it tells many. Each one exploring a different version of reality shaped by technology, obsession, and human desire. A world where your memories can be replayed, where your social status defines your worth, where artificial intelligence can replace human connection. And the most terrifying part? None of it feels impossible. Because Black Mirror isn't just science fiction. It's a reflection of who we are and who we're becoming. It doesn't just entertain you. It makes you uncomfortable. It makes you think. And once you start seeing the world through that lens, you realize the line between reality and fiction is already gone. And now we've reached the moment you've been waiting for. The final 5. These aren't just great sci-fi series, truly redefine the genre. The ones that don't just tell stories, but completely change the way you see reality. If you thought the list was mind-bending so far, what comes next will take it to another level. So get ready. Because here are the top 5 most mind-bending sci-fi series, starting with number 5. Dark. Everything is connected, past, present, and future, all trapped in an endless loop. Dark begins with a missing child, but quickly unfolds into one of the most complex and mind-bending stories ever told. Families are linked across generations, identities blur, and time itself becomes a prison with no clear beginning and no end. As secrets unravel, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. You can't escape fate because you are part of it. And in this world, every answer leads to another question, and every question leads you deeper into the darkness. Stranger Things. It starts in a quiet small town where nothing ever really happens. But one night a young boy disappears without a trace, and everything begins to change. What follows is a journey into a hidden world, one that exists right beneath our own. A dark dimension, filled with creatures, secrets, and forces that were never meant to be discovered. As friendships are tested, and the line between reality and the unknown begins to blur, one truth becomes clear. This isn't just a mystery, it's a war between worlds. Stranger Things isn't just about monsters or alternate dimensions. It's about friendship, courage, and the strength to face something you don't understand. Because sometimes, the greatest battles aren't fought in the light, but in the darkness, just beyond it. The Expanse. Humanity has finally reached the stars, but instead of unity, it brings division. Earth, Mars, and the Belt, 3 factions, each fighting for power in a fragile system on the edge of collapse. What begins as a political conflict soon reveals something far more dangerous, a mysterious force that doesn't belong to any world, and doesn't follow any human rules. As tensions rise and war becomes inevitable, the question is no longer who will win, but whether humanity will survive at all. The Expanse isn't just sci-fi, it's a realistic, grounded vision of our future, where ambition, survival, and the unknown collide on a cosmic scale. Because out there, in the vast emptiness of space, we are not as alone as we think. 2. Fringe. What if the impossible was actually real? Fringe begins with strange, unexplained events, science experiments gone wrong, impossible phenomena, and cases that defy all logic. But as the investigation deepens, a far more shocking truth begins to emerge. A parallel universe, existing right beside our own. Two worlds, two versions of reality, slowly colliding with each other. And at the center of it all, are choices that could destroy both. Fringe isn't just about science or mystery. It's about consequence, sacrifice, and the idea that every action, no matter how small, can change everything. Because when two realities collide, only one can survive. Robots. What if every story you watched felt like stepping into a completely different universe? Love, Death, and Robots isn't just a series. It's an experience. A collection of short, visually stunning stories, each one exploring a new idea, a new world, and a new reality. One moment, you're witnessing the rise of artificial intelligence. The next, you're thrown into alien worlds, futuristic wars, or realities where humanity itself begins to lose meaning. And the most incredible part? No two episodes are the same. Different animation styles, different tones, different stories, but all connected by one thing. They challenge the way you think. Some episodes are thrilling, some are disturbing, and some will leave you questioning everything long after they end. Love, Death, and Robots doesn't follow rules. It breaks them. Because in these stories, there are no limits. Only imagination, technology, and the darker side of what the future could become. And once you step into this world, you realize sci-fi isn't just about the future anymore. It's about understanding the present. This is why Love, Death, and Robots takes the #1 spot. So, how many of these have you already watched? And which one completely blew your mind? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this countdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join Top 10 Begins for more mind-bending content.